the reports out of camp and everything, when a team's focusing on the red zone and it's like QBX had 6 touchdowns today. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, they were working on red zone. And that, but people still don't really understand that perspective. So getting into Packers-Bengals yesterday.
Well, nobody reports with any context anymore.
With any context.
We were saying, we were basically saying you should. It would be quite a funny bit if you basically went to all these training camps and tweeted stuff deliberately absent of context, right? Like, somebody missing from training camp. You're like Sean Clifford getting reps with the ones. Maybe Jordan Love's gig is under threat just because Jordan Love is like sitting out that drive or whatever.
Yeah, just because
But people don't. If you want to give the benefit of the doubt to some of these guys, like, it can be difficult to get the full context live at the time on the sideline when everything's going on and things are happening fast. But we do live in this world where half the information out there during training camp is just contextless tweeting from nobody.
I do hate not having a replay. It is a tough way to watch a game.
And it's also difficult.
Not just replays, but the ability to just see things over and over again, rewind, whatever it might be.
It's also difficult to kind of get a general sense of something during, so you tweet, Bengals defense is suffocating the Packers offense, right? And then they go to red zone, and the Packers offense actually gets some success. You're like, well, that's invalid. And then it goes back, it can change 3 times in the course of a practice, and it's difficult without waiting until all the way to the end of it. And then, okay, now here's the composite of my opinion on this entire topic.
Well,
nobody waits for that.
That was the one where somebody's like, oh, look at these PFF guys completely contradicting themselves. Because I said Christian Watson was wide open on a touchdown. Right. But you were absolutely right. The Bengals defense was suffocating the Packers offense. That is the general takeaway, I think, from that side of the ball. The Bengals defense was very, very good. But of course the Packers had some plays.
For the second year in a row. In joint scrimmages, but also a picture is worth 1,000 words. There was one really nice play from Jordan Love to Romeo Doubs down the sideline for what would have been a big touchdown, or is a big touchdown. And it's like, well, that carries more weight than somebody's saying. And it's the opposite.
But it also goes back to what I was saying, where if that was a game, if we were actually watching a game, the Packers may have gone 3 and out 3 straight times.
Yeah.
Instead of we're running 12 plays. Right. And 2 of them were successful.
Overall.
And there's no connection to there. So.
If you were saying, how did that practice overall roll up into a game performance? Green Bay's offense scored 12 points.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Including the 7 touchdown bomb to Dobbs.
And they may not have gotten into the red zone where they did do nice work and had a few nice passes against the Bengals defense, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this a little bit. We're on the sideline hanging out, and it was Packers rules. Which meant we could only film during periods 1, 2, 3, parts of 5, 11, and 13.
There was a 7 thing in there as well.
Doesn't matter.
And then
That's irrelevant. That's when we could film, and those were pretty much all special teams periods.
Yeah, and then that was made even more difficult by the fact that there were scoreboards at the end that show you what session it is, session 8, whatever. They were telling different numbers. So one scoreboard was number 10, one scoreboard was number 11, and B, neither of them were correct. So they were both telling you the wrong number, a different number, so nobody had any idea what session we were in.
It was pretty easy to know when you couldn't film. It was when real football was happening, you can't film it. If someone was about to kick a ball, fair game. So those were the rules there. So we couldn't get any one-on-ones. We couldn't get anything fun. You and I also chose to watch Packers offense versus Bengals defense predominantly because personally I didn't have the stomach for I just didn't want to watch the other side. I wanted to see Jordan Love, bigger story. It was Jake Browning and Trevor Siemian on the other side for the Bengals offense. I wanted to see Packers offense.
Yeah, the way training camp is set up in Cincinnati is there are 2 parallel fields, one offense versus the defense on one side and then the flip side in the other field. You have access to essentially the perimeter, but mostly on one side. So you can get a good look of either one of those fields, but no good way of seeing them both up close. So you basically have to choose whose offense you're more interested in or whose defense. And yes, the Jordan Love Green Bay offense was the more interesting thing absent Joe Burrow. So that's where we stayed most of the time.
They should have let us in the middle.
Yeah.
We are consultants for both teams.
That's true.
They should have let us right in the middle. So, high-level takeaway, that side of the ball in particular, I thought the Bengals defense did look very good. And you and I both came to a similar conclusion from a Jordan Love perspective. I don't think anything about Jordan Love was bad, necessarily. I don't think anything was great. There were certainly some nice throws in there. But I thought patient/conservative for Jordan Love. However you want to parse that, right? There was a lot of underneath throws by Jordan Love. You see his career 43.7 passing grade. He's got one start. But there were a lot of checkdowns. Now, again, there's reasons for that. Is it because the Bengals aren't blitzing, right? They're pretty much just running their base D. They played a lot of soft zone in this, middle of the field area during practice. And, they were allowing more underneath throws. Is that where the reads are taking them? Or are the Packers really trying to reel Jordan Love in? We did our preview yesterday, AFC and NFC North, and we talked about the Packers. We talked about the volatility in Jordan Love's game from Utah State through NFL preseason, through a little bit of NFL action. Are the Packers specifically trying to reel him in and get him playing within structure?